Why is it good to know a couple of different knots, not just be master of the half hitch?
Well, because we use different things to tie with, so some knots are better than others.
Mm-hmm.
Like the surge's knot is good on pretty slippery rope. A square knot, if the rope has to get a little bit of bite for the square knot to bite into each other, this is really good stuff. This will bite into each other because it's flexible.
Mm-hmm.
Trucker's hitch, because you want to just exert a lot of force to keep that canoe down tight to your car. Yeah, but there's books. I mean, everybody has their favorite 6 knots.
Right.
If you went on the internet and write, 6 best knots, they're going to be slightly different.
Yeah.
But the square knot will probably be there. The bowline will probably be there. A lot of times the trucker's hitch is there, so
Okay.
there's some basic ones that everybody should know.
Yep. So this is what?
This is the taut line.
Yep.
And I'll use it to start, like if I'm tying up a tarp too. So 1, 2 times around that center cord, and then through that loop, this loop,
Mm-hmm.
and then I just made a loop. I'm going to come back through there. And now, because I really want this to anchor my whole line, I'll just pull it tight down to here, and it'll stay there.
Yeah.
And then
nice and snug.
I'll do the same thing on through a tarp maybe, right? I just like taut lines because they're easy. You just whip them out,
Well, unless you keep a length of rope
but now I
and
can
adjust it for different situations.
Yeah, I can tighten one end or the other
Yeah.
depending on what I need to do. But I would not tie my kayak or my canoe up like this, because you just can't put the same amount of force as you put
Okay.
a trucker's hitch.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
under some
It will-
extreme
yeah,
pressure.
it can still slide back down this.
Yeah. And it could pull out.
Because there's a lot of, when you're driving down the road at 50,
Well, yeah.
55.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so it can still slip.
Yeah. But for securing to a tree
Yeah,
at night when there's not a storm coming, that'll do the trick.
it's pretty quick, and it's
Yeah.
a quick one to do. Yep. Make a loop. You're gonna come through the hole, around there, back through the hole. Pull that tight.
All right. And what's the bowline good for?
Bowline is good for if you put it around. If your waist is right here and you need to be pulled up by something, that's not going to slip.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine a lot of rescuers do this because you can do it one-handed if you have to. So that is a handy one to do.
That'll also be good for docking, probably, or.
If you
just-
need that fixed loop in there,
Yeah.
just throw it over the
Okay.
the
So anytime you need a fixed loop, that won't slide on you with the bowline.
bowline.
And
Yeah.
then.
And people like the bowline because if you flip it over, it's easy to loosen because you just pull on that.
Right. You
So
just break
that's
that
tight.
back of it.
Pull that down,
Yep.
loosens it up.
Perfect. So very strong knot, but easy to get it out.
Right.
You won't lose the rope
Yes,
because you
lot
tied it
of
too.
outdoors people like the bowline.
Would that be good for like hanging a bear pack or?
It would around halfway. Yes, half of it. So you could do a bowline around the bag,
Yeah.
and then maybe down
Use it
around
under.
the tree.
Yep.
Might do a taut line.
Yeah.
So I can.
Yeah.
raise
So you
that
can
up.
rail the. Okay.
Mhm.
I gotta
Yep.
do that from now on. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Perfect. See, thank you so much. So what do you have there?
So I've just 2 perfection loops.
Yep.
Like we do it on the end of a fly line, end of a leader. Slide one over the other. Pull that through there. And when you tighten it up, there'll be like a handshake. Kind of like that square knot again.
Yep.
That's if you've done it correctly.
Right.
And it pulls on each other evenly.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to see what it looks like wrong?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I won't be able to do it wrong.
What not to do.
This is how to not have it look when you tighten it up. If it looks like that when you tighten it up,
Oh yeah. you
that's
definitely
all the
wanna-
pressure at one bend.
It'll break that one.
Much easier
Yeah.
to break, yep.
Right.
They tie 2 lines together, and this is useful if it's on a filament. Monofilament is pretty hard to tie.
Yeah, it's very slippery.
So you have one end and you want to add to the other end, so you overlap them.
Mm-hmm.
You make a loop in there. And then you come through twice to make a double. This is a surgeon's knot, it's called, one time, or you can come 2 times. It's called a double surgeon's. But you tighten that up. And that's also, they're biting on each other, so they're not going to slip. And in monofilament, that's important because monofilament is so slippery.
Right, yep.
If you're doing that on monofilament, you want to wet it before you tighten it.
Because of the friction?
The friction will actually melt, and
Yeah.
then it weakens it, and then you're going to lose your fish.
Yep. And that's
No bueno.
no, I know, no bueno's right.
Sometimes I like to just have a loop on the end of my line. And again, in fly fishing, sometimes you buy a fly line that has a welded loop on the end. So then you have to put a loop on the end of your leader. So there's something called a perfection loop. So again, you might be easier this way. You cross over and you come around that. And here's another loop that you've just created back there, right?
Yep.
So you kind of pinch that, and then you come right through the middle again.
Okay.
And then I'm going to reach through from the big one, grab the little one,
Yeah.
and pull up. And that won't slide, that loop. And you know you've done it correctly if this comes out like an arm, straight out, instead of at a 45.
Okay.
If you do it at a 45, it could slip. But that's perfection loop. And that's nice on the end of your leader. In parks, we have a lot of people, well, in outdoors, we have a lot of people that want to tie something down, like a canoe or a kayak.
Yep.
And so a trucker's hitch is really awesome.
Okay.
At that. So,
We spend really a lot
we're going to have to go across the way.
Okay, all right.
I think. So, because you have to start with, you have to fasten it, and I'm not going to be fancy here.
Yep.
Exactly what I told you not to do? I just tied that.
That happened.
My knot's going to be right in the way. So you would go around. So here's your kayak.
Right.
One side of your car, here's a kayak.
Yep.
Go to the other side. But now if you pull on this and you just tied a bunch of half hitches right here, they're
Yeah.
going to loosen.
Right.
And you don't have the leverage. You can't pull that tight enough. So I want to be able to pull. So I kind of see how far it is, and right here I'm going to put in and make a loop. That's going to be problematic. You make a loop. I'm going to make a loop over here and avoid that knot. And then I'm going to stick this through there and really just grab a bite of it. That's what it's called, a bite.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
a bite. Okay? So then when this comes around, now to get some leverage, I'm going to run this is still a kayak,
Yep.
but now
Yeah, you can really
I'm going to pull on
Bite
this.
it down on there.
Yep, and I can pull and pull and pull, and then all I have to do is pinch these two together, because this is where the pressure is. It's not even here. And then all I have to do, now that I have a lot of line, is tie a half hitch, and it will hold. This is the one place,
The one place
you
a half
can
hitch.
use a half hitch.
Right, right. And the half hitch is not that everybody knows,
You
but
just don't know what it's called.
yeah, and it's very overused. Would you say?
Yeah. So that's
yeah.
that's gonna stay.
That is really all right.
Yeah, we should just do a half hitch, right? A half hitch when you tie your shoe,
Yeah.
that's a half hitch.
Right.
Hitch. Is just putting that bite
Yeah, this part
in
right
the
here.
line. Yeah, get rid of that knot.
Yep. That's
Just
the
that
trucker's
bite.
hitch right there.
Yep. And it's really easy to take out. When you're done, you just pull
Oh,
on it.
yeah, it just pops.
And the bite comes right out. Yep. Or not, I have to do it this way.
Okay.
So the saying is right over left,
Yep.
loop it around, and then left over right. Or, because I use 2 different colors, this one's going to do all the work.
Okay.
So right over left, bring it around, left over right, bring it around, tighten that up. And you'll know it's a square knot if you have two interlocking loops that you can.
Oh, you can easily break it apart.
So you can adjust it too if you want to move where this knot is. Right? You can adjust this knot so it's in a different space on your rope.
What do you like the square knot for?
It's a good solid way to lengthen a line. So if you don't have enough line, you need to tie two together.
Okay.
It's going to hold because
Right.
they bind on each other.
Right. It's pretty good strength. Okay.
Okay, later.
What kind of rope do you like to use, or what kind of rope seems to hold knots best along with the wear and tear?
This is paracord, and it does seem to hold really well. It's
Yeah.
super strong because there's 5-strand or 7-strand, and that's what's really the strength. But the outside grips just enough that it's good. That's good knot. Polycord, the really inexpensive stuff. This is hard to use, or the I think it's just called polycord. It's sort of woven and braided at the same time. Really, they use it around boat docks, like to tie up your bumpers on
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
Right?
oh,
It's
like
not
the really-
cloth, it's just plastic. That is super hard to tie knots
Oh
in.
yeah, yeah.
And the sun beats on it.
Yep, it gets so
Yeah.
just powdery.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's icky. But paracord's good. So I teach pretty much those basic knots so that women feel comfortable tying down their kayak or their canoe or putting up their own tarp. A lot of them come to class and say, my husband's done it forever and I want to know how, but he never lets me, or he just does it. So I want to learn how. So we go through that, and then we end by making a paracord survival bracelet,
Oh, okay.
which is just a bunch of half hitches.
Right.
But it's all about knots, and women like to learn with other women, and it's all a community. It ends up being a community. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. How long is the class? Do you remember?
It's probably an hour and a half, I'm going to say.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
because we tie knots for, sometimes it stretches to 2 hours by the time because everybody wants to practice them. And we tie up
Right.
we practice with a trucker's hitch. I have a little toy truck that we put a load in the back of it. And
Okay.
use a trucker's hitch to tie down a bag of carrots or something. It's just a little toy one.
Perfect.
So it's fun.
Okay. Excellent. And it's out here right at Afton.
It is out at Afton.
Okay. All right. Beautiful. Excellent.